Because of me and Albi, Muslims get paradise. Abdal, how are you?
I'm fine.
Are you a Muslim, my brother?
Yeah, I'm a Muslim.
Can I just ask you a question before we even get into anything? Can you bear the burdens of another?
No.
Beautiful. If I can show you that you can bear the burdens of another, what would that be?
Okay, so first, if we
You have a
have
Quran
any
with you?
hadith, yeah,
You have a
if we have
Quran with
any
you?
hadith that contradict the Quran, that hadith must be thrown in the trash.
Beautiful. What if the Quran contradicts the Quran?
Yeah, so the Quran never contradicts itself.
Okay, you have a Quran with you.
No. And now it's on my screen, my phone, but
Can you tell me what site app do you use? Can I show you on my screen? Would you accept that?
yeah.
Or what I'll do is I'll give you the number. You can go on your phone, find it on your phone, come back and tell me what it says. How's that?
Okay, that's good.
Okay, can you read Surah 6? Go to your Quran to Surah 6 and then read 164.
Okay.
Al-An'am 164.
James, what happened to I was gone for 5 minutes. What happened to the Muslim before? Did he manifest?
He asked about Lot and the daughters, and he asked, why would God say that it's okay for a man to sleep with his daughters? And then I reminded him that his Quran says you can penetrate girls before they reach menstruation. And like Houdini, he did the vanishing.
He disappeared. Yeah, when they quote that verse, where in the verse does it say that God told them to do that?
Yeah, I didn't even think about that one.
It's just like, guys, please, if you're going to come up and ask a question about the Bible, we're probably not going to entertain it because you guys don't want to stick on topic. But if we ever do get to your question, please at least do a little bit of homework. Please.
So that verse is
it's so dumb. Rebecca was 3.
Okay, what did you say there, Abdul? Did you read it?
Yeah, that no one will bear the sin of another.
No one, right? No one can bear the sin of another. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Now, can you go to Surah 29, Al-Ankabut, and go to 13. 29, 13. And for those, I'll show it on the screen as well, just for you guys in the chat, so you guys can see it as well. So remember, he said that no one can bear the burden of another. And I'll show you guys on my screen. This is Surah 29, 13. And it says, but they will surely carry I'll read the brackets just to make it easier, their own burdens and other burdens.
Yeah. So I got it.
So hang on, before you say anything, I want you to tell me, what does the verse say?
Yeah, that unless before you get to know, I say let's go a little bit.
Hang on, no. Before we start going anywhere, what does the verse say?
That people take their load and the load of others.
Okay, but hang on, stop there now. Didn't you just read a verse? I'll go to it, 164, and I'll have it on my screen. Yeah. Remember what you just said now, right? You said that, yes, you can bear your burdens and other people's burdens, correct? And this one says, let me just go to where it says burdens. Let me just see. And no bearer of burdens shall bear the burden of another. That's 164, correct?
Yeah.
And the verse you just read to me said that you can bear the burdens of another, correct?
Yeah, based on context.
Are they based on context? Now, before we go to context, if I say to you that I'm going to introduce you to this girl and no man has ever slept with her before, what does that tell you?
Yeah, so these are, yeah,
That no
so
one now, let's just make it easy.
yeah,
No
she
man
has
has
not
ever
been
been there
touched.
before you, correct?
She has not been touched,
Okay.
yeah.
Now I show you another, and I bring the girl back to you, and I said, no man has ever slept with her before, except those that wear jeans.
Wear jeans? You said wear jeans or what? I don't.
Never mind. You tell me the context.
Yeah, so the context is the one that says that you will not bear the burden of another is when I myself willingly commit my own sins without your influence and your suggestion and your deception, then my sin, I bear it alone. But then if I am ignorantly lured by you into sin, then I perpetrated in that sin, then the one who lured me to commit that sin gave me that suggestion, gave me that last, then will bear a portion of my sin because he taught me. So it's contextual.
But you
Okay,
just said the
beautiful.
same thing that James said. Like, I mean, you. Say sorry,
Okay,
James.
go
Go
on.
ahead.
I just want to read
So
this again for him. I just want you to see this. Abdul, watch this. Again, Surah 35:18 says this. Watch this. It says, no bearer, right? No bearer of burdens will bear the burden of another. Let me say that again. No bearer of burden will bear the burden of another. And if a heavenly laden soul calls another to carry some of its load, nothing, nada, zero, nothing of it will be carried, even if he should be a close relative. Now watch this, man. Abdel, watch this. Here's my question. Is Allah making a mistake when he says, and no bearer of burdens will bear the burden of another? When he said that, was he lying?
No, he was not lying.
Okay, so he wasn't lying. So you saying to me now, he's not lying. And because of what you just said, you said no bearer, no, nada, nothing, zero, no bearer of burdens will bear the burden of another, correct?
Yes.
Now, what is the contradiction?
So now I'm clearly telling you that there's no contradiction because it's contextual.
What is the meaning of a contradiction?
So contradiction when you have two opposing statements.
Okay.
Having the same
So
context.
this one says, no bearer of burdens will bear the burden of another. For this to be a contradiction, it means that someone can bear the burdens of another, correct?
Yeah, when they have the same context.
Okay, so now in the other verse I showed you, can somebody else bear the burdens of another?
Yeah, contextually, yes.
Okay, so contextually, is that a contradiction?
No.
Come on, dude.
That's why you have to know the paragraph. We have to know the paragraph in which God has mentioned these two things before we can make a meaning out of it.
Okay,
we have to know
can
that
you
paragraph.
give us? Yeah, okay. Can you give us then the reason why it's not a contradiction?
Yeah, it's not a contradiction because one, that's why I explained it earlier, that if an innocent person who does not know a particular sin is lured by somebody to do that particular sin, then the one who lured the person partakes of the sin. In the sense that, for example, if you teach me to be armed robber, then I get trained to be armed robber, then the effect of the armed robbery will come back to you because in the end, I'm likely to come and rob your house or rob your relative.
Okay. Okay, so let's just stop there then. So the sin that you committed is getting somebody else to commit sin, right?
Yeah, when you are influenced.
Okay, and then on the day of Yom Kiyama, are you going to bear that person's sin because it was you who made them do it unknowingly?
Yeah, that the verse say you take part.
Okay.
Of the
it doesn't say you'll take part. It says that. So the verse says you can't bear anybody else's sin. It doesn't say anything about you can't bear part. You're just inserting that into the verse. But if we're going with what you're saying, then it doesn't matter if the person that commits the sin is ignorant of it, you're still bearing it. But according to the verse, it says you can't do that. So is that now a contradiction?
I think I've explained myself clearer. to you.
Please.
Okay. And whatever I've said is instinctively agreed upon you too. So in all religions in the world, if you influence an innocent person to perpetrate sin, then you are a sharer of it. It's
Okay.
not argued.
I mean, but we're not arguing that. Like, that's the thing. In the Quran, it says, no one can bear the sins of another. But then in another verse, it says that you can. So we're just
That's
trying to
why
figure out what's going on here.
that's why
Let's read some
context
more.
matters.
Let's read some more, because remember, this is still more to the verse. It said, you can only warn those who fear their Lord unseen and have established prayer. So it's telling you, you can warn them. So if you tell me you got free will, and then I say to you, let's go and rob a bank, you have the free will to say no, thank you. And then it says, and whoever purifies himself only purifies himself for his soul. So the Quran tells you even more. It says, not only can you not bear the burden of another, but you can only purify your own soul. You can't purify his soul by taking on his sins.
Now read the context, read the verse, let me see what you are referring to. That you can only warn those who
You can only warn those who fear their Lord,
and
unseen, and have established prayer.
prayer.
And whoever purifies himself only purifies himself for his soul. So you can't purify someone else's soul by taking on their sins. That's why it says, no bearer of burden.
No. So here
bear
it does
the
not
burden
mean.
of
It does
another.
not mean.
Watch what it
It
says.
does not
Please
mean
listen. Please let's read. It says, and if a heavily laden soul, that means you got so much of sin, and you call another to carry some of it, nothing of it will be carried, even if he should be your mother, your father, your child, your children. Is Allah misunderstanding himself over here? Because if I read this verse, then I without any doubt will believe that no man can bear the sin of another. Because this verse is so clear.
When you bear the sin of someone, it does not mean that you are going to carry all the sin of the person. You have a share in it.
I don't know.
You are the
That's not what
subject.
The verse said.
That's what the verse is. That's why I tell that context
13.
matters a lot. Context matters a lot. So let's read the context in
So
the verse is talking
there's
about.
Context to it, and it's still a contradiction. It's still a contradiction, right?
So let's read some few verses before
carry
the
their
verse.
own burdens and other burdens along with their burdens. Now this line over here, that they will surely carry other burdens.
I ask a simple question.
Please listen. Stop talking. Listen. This verse. Does this verse tell me that I can carry other people's burdens?
So I'm telling you that if someone infiltrates a peaceful community with war,
like Muhammad,
what happens? Does he become a sharer of what he has himself perpetrated?
Never mind, my man. I don't think you understand
it. So
let's move on from
right
this.
now, if I go about
my man, you've got no idea what you're saying because you're desperately trying to make it make sense in your head. You didn't know that this existed. Now that I showed you.
I know.
So now again, watch this. Now let's just take it easy. So now it says in the verse. Let's go back to the other verse. What was it? What 164. So I want you to watch this. In this verse 164, it says something. It says that no bearer of burdens, right? It says, where does it say that? 164. Let me just see. Yeah, it says this. It says, no bearer of burdens shall bear the burden of another. Do you see that, right? No bearer of burdens. Does that mean that if somebody has no burdens, they can bear the burden of another? The verse says, no bearer of burdens.
I understand perfectly what you are saying. I'm saying that contextual matters.
Okay.
Context
Okay.
matters. So
Listen.
why
Listen
don't
to
you
listen
read
to my
the
question.
paragraph
Please
where the
listen to
verse
my
can be
question,
found?
brother. Listen to my question. The verse is this: no bearer of burdens can bear the burden of another. If you have no burdens, can you bear the burden of another?
If you have no burdens, but you perpetrate others to sin, then you will
That's
carry
what I said. I
forth
don't know if you can
sin.
hear me. I'm not talking about pushing anyone to sin. Allah does that. Allah is the one that makes people sin.
No,
Allah
Allah does not make
astray.
anyone sin.
Okay, watch
Allah
this.
does not.
Abdel, who is the one that leads people astray?
Yeah, our own ego, our own
So if
Satan.
I show you that Allah is the one that leads people astray,
No.
seriously, you don't know that?
I know that verse, but it has meaning.
Okay, but it's Allah that makes you go astray, correct?
No, Allah does not.
Oh my God, it's like talking to a... You guys need to do a test to make sure that you're old enough to actually
Quran
Yeah,
is not
they just regurgitate stuff that they learn in masjid.
The
It must
Quran
be.
is not
Let's see.
newspapers.
Be quiet.
The
Watch
Quran
this.
is not newspapers. So
Surah
when you are
14:4
reading
says
it,
this: then Allah misleads whom He wills and guides whom He wills. Then Allah leads astray whoever He wills and guides whoever He wills. Who is the one that leads people astray and pushes people away?
so here the meaning is that Allah has set laws, the laws of
Oh
good
my
and the
God.
laws of bad.
Okay,
Okay,
who
so
is
and
the
He has
one
given
that
you the
leads
mind.
astray? Who is the one that
Listen,
puts
brother,
devils on people?
you cannot take part of the
Abdel,
Quran. The
who puts
Quran
devils
is
on people to
entirety.
push them to commit sin?
Allah does not push anyone. If He
Who
did,
is
then there will
okay,
be.
man,
It will
watch
not be
this.
sense. It will
Listen,
not be
dude,
sensible.
I don't think you're smart enough to have these conversations. You know,
No,
having
let
TikTok
me
doesn't mean
explain
that
to
you
you.
need
You
to go
see,
live. Okay,
when you meet
watch
Muslims
this.
like
Stop talking. Listen. See you not that we have sent the shaitan. Who is we in Islam?
God.
Allah. So see you not that Allah have sent the shaitan against the disbelievers to do what? To push them to do evil. Who is pushing them, the disbelievers, to do evil? Who is?
Now,
who is putting the devils on the people to push them
Which verse
to
are you
do
reading?
evil?
Which verse is that?
1983.
Surah
Maryam
so.
83.
Yeah.
So
And I
who
said
is
that
it that is putting devils on people, the disbelievers, to push them to do evil?
Now, what is evil and what is Satan at all?
Oh my God, bro. Okay, James, can you just read him chapter 5, verse 1, chapter 5, 14? Because there's no way that he's going to disagree against this, bro. This is just getting dumb, dude. Like,
that's why I dropped him. I can't honestly, you know, having TikTok doesn't mean that having a mouth doesn't mean you have to talk.